Hello and welcome back. This is episode number 27 of the Amber Army's YouTube's Football Manager 2018 experiment with Celtic and Rangers in England. Obviously starting from the Vanarama and working their way up to where they are now, and both of them are in the Premier League and both of them seem to be exceeding my expectation. I didn't think Rangers would truly ever get here, but Celtic, I didn't think they would finish 7th in the Premier League. I always felt they'd be bottom end Premier League, top end Championship. Obviously, as I've said with Rangers, bottom end Championship, top end League One, which for a while it looked as though that was what it was going to do, because up until season 5, that's what Rangers were: top end League One, bottom end Championship. Celtic had been in the Premier League and fallen out of it and looked to push again. So they were exactly doing what I predicted, but now, Celtic finishing 7th, a buttload of money in the pot. I can see them pushing for that top 5 spot now. Rangers just promoted, but with a very good team, promoted with more points than what Celtic were. I got a feeling they may be in the relegation battle, but I think that they'll keep their heads above water for a season or two. Like I said, we're going to do 2 more seasons, guys. We're going to conclude this at the end of season 15, episode number 30. So if there is any calls for this to carry on, give me a shout, because I'd be happy to keep it going if people have a demand for it. But I don't mind doing an episode of a look into the future to see where they are then. You know, basically, if we get to the end of season 15, it'd be 2032, and then we'd have a look at maybe pushing it on to 2040 or something like that, just to see where they end up. But how about 2nd of July? Let's see if they have done any early business. So Celtic have moved. They've made 77 million, but they've bought into this. Let's have a look what they've sold. Stephen Travis. I think that's a big sale, that is. So he's pretty good. Stephen Travis, look at that. Everton have bought him as well. Mohamed Traore has moved to Chelsea. That's that goalkeeper that they bought. That goalkeeper that they bought for 550k, they've sold for 50 million. Wow. Just wow. Now, who have they brought in? Andrew Fox is a striker, 18-year-old striker, with possibly a bit of potential. And Zdravko Gal from CSKA Moscow is a goalkeeper. So there you go, they've replaced Traore, but they're probably looking for a left winger now to replace Stephen Travis, unless they've already got one, because they have got a few younger players coming through. Eddie Howe, still the manager, still doing well with them. I can see him taking them places. Rangers now, they've still got Paul Clement. He has been the manager for quite some time now. Any early business now? They've allowed Nathan Donnelly to go on a free. Obviously he wasn't quite up to it. George Bowman on loan. So St Johnson are doing well out of Rangers at the moment already. Now Mohamed Abdel Halim, just under 10 mil. Defender right. Stats aren't too impressive, but he's on a lot of money. Worth a fair bit as well. So there's got to be something about him for them to be giving him that kind of money. So guys, that is that. That is the early business that's been done by Rangers and Celtic. So without further ado, let's get this to the end of the transfer window to see what final business they do in this first window, and see what kind of start they make to life in the Premier League together for the first time in this entire experiment. Very exciting times. I'm pretty eager to get this one underway. So guys, I will see you on the 2nd of September. Okay then, here we go. We are on the 2nd of September, and Celtic have drawn 3 out of 3 so far. Rather mad. One of them being against Chelsea, but 2 of them being at home against Newcastle and West Ham, where they would have fancied wins in them. Rangers have had a pretty poor start. They've lost to Man City, and only by the odd goal to Stoke, and they've drawn with Newcastle. So Newcastle also drawing 2. That's against Celtic and Rangers. So, not a great start, but what kind of business did they finish up the transfer window with doing? So, Celtic only bought one more player, but they didn't really sell anyone. So, I'm hoping Lewis Patton, a big expensive player, is a replacement for Travis. And no, he's not. He's a central midfielder. They must feel they have plenty of players at left wing, but maybe needed a midfield centre. He's 18 years old, valued at 41.5 million and 115k. He's going to be a hell of a player. Already 9 caps at 18. This is a wonder kid. Like the wonder kid of wonder kids, if anything. Jesus. No wonder he costs so much. But 24 million for someone of that kind of calibre is going to look like an absolute bargain. So I wouldn't say they've strengthened. Depends on the difference between Gal and Traore in ability, and whether they got enough cover at left back, left wing, and whether he is better than what they've already got at centre mid. But then they're still over 30 million up on that. So let's hope that they haven't really. Let's just say the transfer activity haven't been mad. They haven't been mad. So I think they're going to be pretty happy with that, actually. Let's go back to the Premier League and see what Rangers ended up doing. Because coming into the Premier League, you do need to strengthen, and they've brought in some players and they haven't sold anybody. They haven't sold any of their main players, which is great. Like Jonathan Mitchell, who's this? Must be like a real backup goalkeeper. Don't know why. Hernan Yara Sagria, I think that's how you pronounce it. Apologies if not. Paraguayan, 27, decent looking. Sad Fatih from Sampdoria, another right back. That's 2 right backs they bought. Two Egyptian right backs as well. Well, I never. Carlos Reyes on loan from Monaco was a striker. And then Martin Lozano, a left back. So right back and left back have been severely strengthened. Sagri is a centre mid, so they've strengthened the centre mid as well. And they've got a lone striker. They had a few loans last season that did them well, so they had to fill those gaps, I'd imagine. So hopefully that's what they've done with that. And hopefully they can pick up a couple of wins now. Because losing at home to Stoke are doing well in the Premier League these days. And then a draw with Newcastle, finding their feet at the moment, I'd say. I reckon that we're in a prime position to push on to the 30th of November to get a real clearer picture on how this team or these teams are going to do in this division. So, guys, I will see you on the 30th of November. Okay then, guys. Pardon me. Now we're at the point where we're going to conclude this episode. It's the 30th of November, and as you can see, Celtic and Rangers both occupying 13th and 14th place respectively. And Celtic, you can say, is somewhat underachieving. Rangers, around about where I thought they may be, although I'd like to see them push on and get a little bit higher. But they've both only won 3 games out of 12. Obviously, Celtic winning their games against teams you'd expect them to beat. 5 draws. They've managed to get a draw against Rangers, drawn against Chelsea and Stoke, but the 4 losses coming against Tottenham and Man City and Everton. You can understand away. Watford at home was a particularly disappointing one, I'd imagine. Rangers, though, they've lost a few more games than Celtic, but they've managed to beat Arsenal, which is a good achievement. They've drawn against Tottenham as well. So the 6 losses coming against Man City, Stoke, Everton, who are good teams, as you can see, occupying the top 8. Stoke and Everton have made it a top 8, obviously, there. Newcastle doing quite well as well. But I think they need to pull their fingers out. They may need to strengthen in January. Unless between the two of them they can get a couple of wins under their belt. Now, also to check at this point, managers. So Eddie Howe's not been poached just yet. Celtic are in the Euro Cup. How was Celtic in the Euro Cup? They must finishing 7th must have got them into the Euro Cup. Well, check up on that right now. What about Rangers? They got into the final of the League Cup. I tell you what that is. Was it the final of the League Cup or the FA Cup they got to, mind you? We're going to have a look at this, guys, because I think the game may have cocked us up a little bit here. I always shows the FA Cup final they got to. They lost in the FA Cup final, unless it is a rule where the cup finalists can't enter a European competition. I think that's a bit harsh on Rangers. They should be playing in Europe. But while we're on Rangers, we'll do them first on how they're doing in the cups right now. Carabao Cup, knocked out in the 4th round home to Man City. Understandable. FA Cup 3rd round. Oh, we're on the wrong bloody season. What the hell am I on about? Carabao Cup, they're in the quarter final against Man United at home. Celtic. Maybe the European season is weighing them down somewhat. So Celtic, so they've made the Euro Cup, and they've won some group stage games there. They've won all of them so far. Playing Falkirk. Imagine that, a reunion with Falkirk. Out of the Carabao Cup, the 4th round, and they've won all their games, so they'll be through. Without any shadow of a doubt, they'll be through. They've won all their games so far, which is great. So we'll keep tabs on that one. Any players that are standing out for any of the teams right now. So what are we? Average rating. Yeah, there we go. So Celtic have got that Can Ankalari or whatever his name is, that really expensive Turkish striker that they bought last season. Pardon me. He must be doing pretty well at the moment. Imagine he may be on the goals as well. So goals. Liverpool off the current top scorer. So I can click on there without clicking on him. So yeah, Chanang Akakali or whatever. 7 goals and 11 appearances, which is decent. And they've also got Derek Elstone on there. So Celtic are scoring some goals, but they've just got to stop letting them in. Maybe the goalkeeper isn't quite as good as Traore. So assists, Lewis Patton for Celtic, and Shan Akakali, he's doing it for his teammates as well. Goalkeepers, clean sheets, that's got to be a kick in the teeth for Celtic fans to look at. Mohamed Traore is currently the best clean sheets in the Premier League right now, after his move from Celtic to Chelsea. No sign of Celtic's new goalkeeper anyway. I don't think they've replaced him well enough, and that's why Celtic are sitting in 13th and maybe not converting those draws and losses into a couple of wins, sitting up this end where they were last season. We shall see though. There's plenty of time left. They may realise the whole goalkeeper situation and decide to do something about it. Like I said, we'll see in the next episode, guys. That is the end of this episode. The next episode will conclude our penultimate season, so make sure you don't miss it. And thanks again for keeping up with this series. It's been a complete pleasure to do it, and as it draws to a close, I can pretty much say that we've maximised it to its fullest. Hopefully Rangers won't fall out of the Premier League, and Celtic will push further forward, and we'll see what next season brings. But for now, we're on season number 14. 15 is next season. Until the next time, until we conclude season 14, we can't think about the last one. The last one will be a pretty good one, I'm sure. But anyway, thanks guys. Catch you all next time. Thanks again. Until the next time, cheerio for now.